My friend, life has a way of showing us exactly what we need when we're finally ready to take that leap. Maybe you've seen patterns repeating, lessons circling back again and again. It isn't coincidence. It's life nudging you, whispering, sometimes screaming, it's time to change. Every breakthrough begins not when the world changes, but when you decide you're ready. When you stop saying someday and start saying today. Because let's be real, nothing transforms until your hunger for change becomes greater than your comfort with staying the same. You've been carrying dreams, visions, ideas, some of them for years. They keep showing up in your mind, in conversations, in late-night thoughts because they're yours. But you only see the door when you're willing to walk through it. That's the moment everything shifts. Change isn't about waiting for perfect timing. It's about creating the timing by committing. It's about stepping into uncertainty with faith that you'll figure it out on the way. Growth demands discomfort, and discomfort is the proof that you're breaking limits. So when you feel stuck, remember, this is your sign. The fact that you're hearing this means you're ready. Life doesn't put opportunities in front of people who refuse to move. It puts them in front of those who are prepared, even if scared, to take the step. The power is already in you. The next chapter is waiting. And the only thing between where you are and where you want to be is the choice you make today. There's a truth about life that many people overlook. Opportunities don't show up randomly. They arrive when you've grown enough to see them. Think about it. There are doors all around you, but unless your mind and heart are tuned to notice them, they may as well be invisible. The same opportunity can pass by 10 people, but only one seizes it. Why? Because that one was ready not just in skill, but in mindset, in hunger, in willingness to step forward. Have you ever noticed that sometimes you hear the same message again and again until one day it finally clicks? That's not the world changing, it's you. It's your perception, your readiness, your openness finally aligning with the lesson that was always there. Life doesn't keep knocking until you're prepared to answer the door. And once you are, it feels like destiny, but in reality, it was your preparation meeting the opportunity. Opportunities aren't just chances. They're responsibilities. They're invitations to step into a higher version of yourself. And most people miss them, not because they aren't capable, but because they're too caught up in fear, self, doubt, or excuses. You have to understand this. Life isn't going to wait until you feel safe. Opportunities show up to stretch you, to call you into the unknown, to demand you rise. That's the moment you discover who you truly are. The truth is, you've already been shown signs. You've already had moments where something stirred inside you, moments that felt like a spark, like a whisper saying, "This is for you." But if you weren't ready, you ignored it or rationalized it away. And that's okay, because life will keep circling back, offering you another chance. But every time it comes around, the question is, are you ready now? Readiness doesn't mean you know everything. It doesn't mean you have it all figured out. Readiness means you're willing to act, even without certainty. It means you've reached a point where staying where you are is no longer an option. The pain of remaining stuck becomes greater than the fear of moving forward. That's when the shift happens. That's when your vision clears and you start to see doors you didn't notice before. Every person you admire, every success story you've heard, is the story of someone who finally became ready. They weren't born with special gifts that others lack. They weren't given magical luck. They were given the same opportunities others ignored, but they decided to see them and step through. Readiness is a choice. It's not given, it's created. Think about the times in your life when you said, "Why didn't I see that sooner? Why didn't I act then?" The reason is simple. You weren't ready, and beating yourself up for that doesn't help. What matters is right now, because if this message is resonating with you, it's not an accident. You're being called to recognize that you are ready in this moment, that something inside you has shifted enough to see what's possible. Opportunity is a mirror. It reflects not what you want, but who you are becoming. When you start to rise, opportunities multiply. When you play small, they vanish, and this isn't about luck or timing. It's about energy, focus, and courage. Life rewards those who dare to act with clarity and faith. You see, readiness isn't about the external world aligning. It's about your internal world shifting. You'll never control the economy, the weather, or the opinions of others. But you can control your state, your beliefs, your decisions, and when you elevate your state, the world seems to magically line up. That's not magic, it's alignment. It's your awareness expanding so you can finally see what was always in front of you. Some people live their whole lives waiting for the perfect moment. But here's the secret. The perfect moment doesn't arrive until you make it perfect by choosing it. Waiting for life to hand you clarity is like waiting for a ship at the airport. It's never going to happen. Clarity comes from movement. Readiness is revealed through action. You step and then the path lights up. So when you find yourself hearing a message like this, don't brush it off. This is life's way of saying, pay attention, you're ready now. The doors have always been there, but now your eyes are open. This is your chance to take it, to step into it, to embrace it before it fades back into the noise of everyday life. And here's the thing, if you don't act, you'll go back to sleep. The fire will dim, the vision will fade, and you'll go back to convincing yourself that maybe next time will be better. But if you act now, you'll ignite momentum. And momentum is the most powerful force in transformation. It's the difference between wishing and living, between dreaming and doing. The reason you're hearing this isn't chance. The reason these words resonate isn't coincidence. It's alignment. Life is handing you a mirror right now and asking, will you see this for what it is? Will you recognize that you're ready? Because readiness isn't about tomorrow, it's about today. And the sooner you claim it, the sooner everything changes. The path forward isn't waiting, it's already here. You just have to take the step. The opportunity you've been searching for has been searching for you too. And now that you're ready, it's time to meet it with courage, with hunger, with a decision that you won't go back. Every transformation begins at a single point, not when circumstances shift, not when luck arrives, not when someone else gives you permission, but when you decide. That decision is the spark that ignites the fire. Most people think breakthroughs come from outside events, but the truth is, the event itself doesn't matter until you make the choice to see it differently. Decision is the birthplace of destiny. Think about it. Two people can face the same struggle. One collapses under the weight of it. The other rises and builds a new life from the ashes. What's the difference? The decision? The moment one says, I will not live like this anymore. The instant they draw a line in the sand and declare that their life must change, that declaration is the seed of a breakthrough because nothing shifts until you do. Decisions have power because they cut off alternatives. The word itself comes from the Latin decidere, which means to cut off. When you decide, you eliminate the possibility of going back. You don't dabble, you commit. And that commitment sends a signal not just to yourself, but to life itself that you're serious. Until then, you're just entertaining ideas. Breakthroughs don't come to those who are interested. They come to those who are committed. You've had moments where you wanted something badly, but desire without decision is weakness. You can wish for change for years, but nothing happens until you decide to act. Wishing is passive, decision is active. Wishing leaves you in the same place. Decision moves you forward even if you're uncertain. That's the difference between those who talk about change and those who live it. Every great shift in history, every revolution, every invention, every personal transformation started with one person deciding they could no longer accept the old reality. They made a choice to step into something greater. And here's the powerful part. That choice wasn't comfortable, it wasn't easy, it wasn't guaranteed. But they made it anyway, and that's why everything else unfolded. You might be standing at a crossroads right now. You feel the pull towards something greater, but fear is whispering in your ear. Fear says, what if you fail? What if it doesn't work? What if you lose what you have? But here's the truth, the only way to truly fail is to never decide. Because indecision is the slow death of dreams. It robs you of momentum, it steals your confidence, it convinces you that someday will be safer than today. Someday isn't real. Someday is an illusion we tell ourselves so we don't have to face the truth. The truth is, the only time you have power is now. The only time you can decide is now. The only time you can step into your future is now. And if you keep waiting for perfect conditions, you'll be waiting until your life passes you by. Decision doesn't mean you have all the answers. It doesn't mean you know the entire path. It means you've committed to taking the first step, trusting that the rest of the road will reveal itself as you move. You don't need certainty to begin, you need courage to decide, and once you decide, momentum takes over, action creates clarity, movement creates confidence. Look back at your own life. Every major shift you've experienced began with a decision. Maybe it was deciding to leave a toxic environment. Maybe it was deciding to pursue a dream. Maybe it was deciding to stand up for yourself. Whatever it was, that decision changed everything. You didn't need to know the entire plan, you just needed to commit fully. And once you did, the world shifted around you. When you refuse to decide, you live in limbo. You're neither here nor there, neither happy nor fulfilled. You're just existing, floating, hoping something outside of you will push you forward. But life doesn't push. You have to pull. You have to create the momentum by saying, enough is enough. Today I decide. That's the instant you reclaim your power. Understand this, indecision is itself a decision. By not deciding, you are choosing to stay the same. You are deciding to surrender your future to fear. You are deciding that your comfort zone is more important than your growth. And if that stings, good. Because that's the wake-up call. You need to realize you've been giving away your power. Decision liberates you. It gives you energy because it ends the endless cycle of what-ifs. The moment you decide, you stop hesitating, you stop second guessing, you start moving, and movement fuels life. The fastest way to feel alive is to make a decision that forces you to grow. A decision that demands more from you than you've been giving. That's where breakthroughs are born. There's a force inside you right now waiting to be activated. That force won't awaken until you commit. And commitment doesn't come with guarantees. It comes with faith. Faith that you'll figure it out. Faith that you're stronger than you think. Faith that the future you want is worth stepping into the unknown for. That's the faith that transforms fear into fuel. So right here, right now, recognize that you don't need to wait for another sign, another push, another circumstance. This is your moment to decide, to cut off the old path and claim the new one. To stop being interested and start being committed, because the second you make that choice, everything else will begin to align with it. Breakthrough isn't out there waiting to be delivered to you. Breakthrough is inside you waiting to be unleashed by one decision. One choice to step forward. One declaration that today is the day, not someday. That is the beginning of everything. There's a reason those ideas, those visions, those possibilities keep coming back to you. They're not accidents, they're not random thoughts. They are your dreams, and they're not going away because they were placed in you for a reason. They are a part of who you are, and until you pay attention to them, they'll keep knocking at the door of your mind, demanding that you notice. Think about it. How many times have you tried to bury a dream, to ignore it, to convince yourself it wasn't realistic? Yet even years later, it surfaces again in conversations, in quiet moments, in flashes of imagination. That's because it's not just a dream, it's your calling. It's your soul's way of telling you that you're meant for something more than just existing. Dreams are persistent because they're not just ideas, they're assignments. They are whispers of the life you're supposed to live, reminders of the potential you carry. You can distract yourself, drown yourself in routine, even silence yourself with doubt, but you can't erase what's inside of you. The more you try to suppress it, the louder it becomes. Your dreams are stubborn. They don't care about your excuses, your fears, or your past failures. They don't vanish just because you've convinced yourself you're not ready. They wait, they linger. They follow you until the day you finally decide to listen. And when you do, that's when everything begins to align. Ask yourself, why do you think that dream hasn't gone away? Why do you think it still shows up in your heart after all this time? It's because it belongs to you. It doesn't belong to your neighbor, your friend, or the person you compare yourself to. It belongs to you and only you. And if you don't live it, the world loses something irreplaceable. The danger isn't in failing to achieve your dream. The danger is in ignoring it until regret takes its place. Regret is the most painful weight you can carry because it comes from knowing you had the chance. You had the vision, but you chose not to honor it. Dreams don't haunt us because they're unrealistic. They haunt us because deep down, we know they're possible. You don't need to have every step mapped out. Your dream doesn't require perfection, it requires pursuit. It requires you to stop doubting and start doing, because dreams don't come alive in the realm of thought. They come alive in the realm of action. Every step you take, no matter how small, breathes life into what you've been carrying inside. The truth is, your dream is bigger than just you. It's meant to impact others. It's meant to ripple out into the lives of people you may not even know yet. That's why it won't let you go, because it's not just about your fulfillment, it's about your contribution. The world needs what you've been given, and if you hide it, you're depriving others of that gift. Sometimes we tell ourselves stories to keep our dreams at bay. It's too late. I'm too old. I don't have enough resources. I'm not talented enough. But those are lies. The dream chose you because you have exactly what it takes to bring it to life. Not someone else you, and the longer you believe those lies, the more you delay the life you're meant to live. Dreams are not polite. They're relentless. They wake you up at night, they interrupt your thoughts, they tug at your heart. You can try to drown them in busyness, but they always find a way back. And that's because they are your compass. They are your reminder that you're here for more than going through the motions. Look at the people who inspire you most. Do you think they were the only ones with dreams? Of course not. Everyone has them. The difference is they listened, they acted. They refused to silence the voice inside that said, "This is for you." And when they did, their lives shifted. The dream didn't just stay in their mind. It became their reality. Your dream is waiting for you to say yes. It doesn't need you to be perfect. It doesn't need you to have every answer. It just needs you to stop running from it. Because the moment you honor it, the moment you take even one step toward it, life begins to conspire with you. Doors open, people appear, opportunities align, and what once felt impossible begins to unfold. There is a version of you that your dream is calling forth. A version that is stronger, braver, and more capable than you realize. You won't meet that version by staying safe. You'll meet them by chasing what's been chasing you. That's the exchange. You pursue the dream, and in the process, you become the person capable of living it. So if your dream has been haunting you, if it keeps returning no matter how much you've tried to silence it, stop resisting. It's not here to torture you. It's here to guide you. It's the compass pointing toward the life you were meant to live, and the only question is, will you finally stop running and start walking toward it?